Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm here with Kayla Silverman. She's just put out an all-new track called Breaking and Entering that I'm absolutely loving, and I can't wait to talk to her all about it. Kayla, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You're very welcome. How's life? Where are you?
Currently I'm in my apartment in Boston, but it's been
Okay.
crazy. Had a crazy week. My
Yeah.
manager came and we're actually filming 4 videos in 4 days for music videos for my upcoming EP.
Wow.
And then we're having the release for this upcoming single. So things are crazy, but I love being busy. I love starting new projects and finishing them. It's so exciting.
That's awesome. I also want to hear all about it, but I also want to hear about this single because I loved it. This was my first introduction to you as an artist, and I wholeheartedly mean that you have really blown me away. And I listen to a
Thank you
lot of
so much.
music. So the first thing that I really want to know about here is sort of the lyrical content of this song. What's it about, and what inspired it? I suppose.
Definitely. So one of my best friends, his name is Evan Seeplick. He's actually the bassist on my band and also the guitarist in a lot of my recordings for my upcoming projects. But we write a lot of songs together, and the way that we like to write songs is just talking for hours. We will talk for 3 to 4 hours before we actually get into like the nitty gritties of the
Okay.
lyrics. And so we will talk, and then what's nice about it is while we're having a conversation, I'll just be writing down kind of what both of us are saying. So it's kind of like this laundry list of and
Sure.
kind of receipt of what um, happened in our talks. And so
What
we
what kind of
basically
conversations are these? Like open ended, just like how's life
yeah,
type things,
a
or
lot. Mostly, it's we talk
okay,
about. Most of the time, it's like we always talk about. We always ask each other like, "What are you thinking right now?" And so,
okay,
what's been on your mind recently? And so we'll just kind of start there, and then we'll go on tangents and um, like we'll go on crazy different things. We'll talk about our dreams, and that's actually where breaking entering started. So Evan was actually telling me that he had a dream that he got lost in his neighborhood. All of the houses looked alike,
okay.
and he went into someone else's house and he felt like he was breaking and entering, and which is kind of gave us the title of our
Sure.
song.
I'm glad that's not a real thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, yeah, no,
seriously.
that's not a true story. It's just a dream. And basically, what we did is we turned it from like the actually external of like actually physically breaking and entering, but into the internal. So like you're mentally
Okay.
breaking and entering into someone else's life. That's kind of the lyrics. It's basically the idea of you feel like your life is in your own, and you're kind of going on autopilot, and
Okay.
you're just kind of living out the day that isn't really meant for you, and you're not really taking initiative into your own life basically.
That's really cool. I'm actually not surprised that it stemmed from a dream
Really.
because yeah, because the song sounds very dreamlike in a sense. And like I said, I'm really happy you said that, which sort of brings me to my next thing is I want to talk about the production.
Oh yeah,
What
yeah.
you've managed to create here is literally dreamlike. It
Thank
feels like you're floating. It feels like it was like conjured up in a dream.
thank you.
I want to hear all about it. I'd love to know who was involved and who kind of like set the stones for the completion of it all.
Definitely. Yeah. So we this actually wasn't supposed to be the way that the song's supposed to like pan out. It was supposed to be this
Yeah.
really intimate ballad between me and the guitar, me and the piano. And then I
Okay.
brought it to the studio, and my producer Dean Gray and I we're actually talking about the same exact thing about the thoughts, and we wanted to really make it fantastical or kind of mystical,
All right.
and to really it's the song is about the thoughts in our minds, and
Sure.
it's kind of these late night thoughts that are happen at 3 a.m. and no one's picking up, and you're like, well, I guess either I'm going to sleep or I'm going to deal with all these emotions that I have.
Sure.
And so, with just you talking to yourself, you're not limited to anything. So we wanted really it to be the sounds to be pretty limitless. Yeah, so Dean Ray is my producer. He's the producer for every single song that I do. We have a really close relationship, and like it's really cool because we just kind of know what the other person's going to do next. So I always like to play this game in my head. It's like, oh, what plugin is he going to do to create the sound? And then sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm not, and I learn some new things. But yeah, we also sampled a lot of things, like the ping pong balls like it says, like only
Okay.
sounds in my mind, and my feelings are playing ping pong. We had the ping pong kind of create a rhythm, as well as the ringing of a telephone, kind of to use as a filler. So we wanted to basically mix the real life versions of these acoustic sounds and then the crazy synths that you're also hearing that are kind of exploding sonically.
That's amazing. Honestly, like bravo to the production team and you, because I know it's not just them. It really is a team effort when it comes down to it. And yeah, the way that it turned out is just seriously beautiful. So is this the first single like that is going to be debuted off the EP?
Correct. Yeah, this
Okay.
is going to be the first of five songs as a collection. Yeah.
Okay. So then, well, I'm happy because this is a perfect thing to lead off with. Is the overall sound of what's to come similar, or are you going to throw any surprises or wrenches in the mix?
Um, hmm.
Or are
I
you not at liberty to say? I guess.
I'm super super ready to say. I think that each song has their own flair and their own distinctive
Okay.
sound, and I think that each of them has their own place to shine. So, for example, my next single called "Mine," it features strings and more of like an orchestra sound, whereas another song called "Laundry" features more of like the pop, more of like a little bit of a rock side of things.
Okay.
So everyone is kind of all on the spectrum, but they all kind of come together to like one certain theme, which is like the sound of my EP called Golden Frequencies, is that they're all lush, cinematic, and really emotional. And that's really all. That's all what I really wanted for each song to connect with each other is that they had those three main pillars, I would say.
You've definitely succeeded because, well, and I'm not even just saying this because you said it, but one of my first thoughts after listening was lush, just like dream poppy, just like being carried away on a wave. You
Oh,
really,
thank you
really
so
got
much.
that going
Thank
on.
you so much. I really
Um,
appreciate it.
I know that you sort of touched on the process side of things of creating, whereas like you and a partner kind of like talking and getting ideas off each other. Is it always like that, or do you ever come up with things on the fly and like whip out your phone into your sing into your notes app?
Sometimes. Basically half of the songs were written with Evan Blick, and then other songs that were written. I like writing poems, and so that's most of. I usually write songs lyrically first, and then I go into the production because I know a world and I know like kind of where I want the music to kind of enhance the words. But my first track on the EP called Home, that was solely on the fly. I remember coming to the
Okay.
studio and we had this song that I didn't. I decided not to put in the EP. It was called Just My Life, and I came and I sat down and I was like super frustrated, and I was like, "This is not the sound that I want. Like I want some." I was like, I went on him. I was like, I
Oh,
want more. And he was like, all right, let's just try things out. So I went into the studio and I told him like a chord progression that I wanted and that I was really digging at the time. And we just kind of tried different sounds and it turned into one of my favorite songs in the track.
that's
So
awesome.
on the EP. So yeah.
Really
So
cool.
thank you so much.
Sort of an open-ended question. How long have you been involved in music for? I guess, it always starts usually at a young age with whatever your parents play, but when did you sort of make that transition to enjoying rather than like creating?
Interesting. Yeah, I've been actually. I originally had roots in classical music for a while. Going into college, I applied to 11 music schools. I was like, either I'm going to go into
Wow.
contemporary music, where I'm at Berkeley, or I'm going to go to a classical conservatory and study opera.
What?
And so I started singing classical music when I was around like 6 or 7 years old, pretty intensively.
Oh, so
Um,
it's been your
and
whole life basically.
yeah,
You could
pretty
form
much.
real person thoughts. It's been, yeah.
Exactly. I think it was always my decision to go into music though because my both my parents are doctors. They have no idea. I have no one in my family is involved in music whatsoever. They wanted me to do sports so badly, and I was so terrible at sports. So when I found music, they were like, "Yes, this is her thing. Let's run with it." So yeah, I'm very lucky that I have such a supportive family, especially my mom. She's my biggest fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge. That's huge because yeah, the support of them can really carry you a long time.
Thank you so
Yeah, I
much.
mean, you hear the horror stories of the parents that don't want their kids being an artist or creative or anything like that. Um,
Definitely.
was there any music that they played for you as a kid that was more like inspiring to the things that you're making today?
Oh, definitely. I'm a huge fan of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. My mom
Yes.
played that a lot, and I became obsessed with Frankie Valli. I went. My mom surprised me when I think I was like 10 years old. I'm not really sure. For a concert, a Frankie Valli concert, and I was the youngest person there, and I knew all of the words, and I was jumping around, and I
That's
was.
amazing. That's a perfect thing to take your kid to. I think honestly, my parents may have taken me to the same thing when I was a kid.
Really? No
I mean,
way. That's
yeah, like they're
awesome.
super into that. And yeah, exciting stuff for sure.
Thank you.
Sort of going in that same vein, and I guess this is more of like a personal question, not what you were raised on, but was there a specific album in your life that you listened to and you were so enamored with it that you were like, this is amazing, I need to make something? Like, I like sort of what flipped the switch for you, an album?
Oh, 100%. I have the exact album. I have it
You
in a
see it in
book.
your eyes that
I
you were
have
like, been waiting.
I call this the Bible. Like this is my Bible. It's Titanic Rising by Wise Blood. You like that album?
Yeah, it's wearing my
Oh,
Sub Pop shirt right now. Are you kidding
oh
me? She's the
amazing.
best. He's the
Um,
best.
she's absolutely incredible. I'll probably listen to. I do you have Last FM? Do
Oh,
you know
oh
that?
yeah. Been
Of course.
scrobbling for years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was looking just recently because actually Evan asked me how many times I listened to this
Oh
album,
my god.
and I
Yeah.
realized I listened to one specific song 328 times, which is
I have
absolutely
to know. I
insane.
have to know which one. Obviously.
It was a lot's gonna change the title track
Yeah.
because
It's the best.
but I listened to movies. I don't know if you know the specific songs movies before like
Oh
any.
no, that's legit. I'm not even just saying this. Legitimately, one of my favorite albums of the last 5 years.
That's that makes me so
I'm
happy.
not.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's one of the best. I mean, well, she's amazing in her own right, but and I don't want to take away from you, but we should definitely geek out for a second.
Definitely.
It's one of the most, or one of the best produced albums, like in the past maybe 10 years. And
Oh,
I'm not sure if you're familiar with like the producers on it or not. Do you
I
know
am
who
not.
Jonathan Rado is?
No, but I'll look him up right after this one.
He's
Interesting.
great. Anything that he has touched, you'll probably love. He's like the lead man in a band called Foxygen.
Okay.
They're also amazing, very like cinematic, like indie pop music. And
Yes.
then there's two guys that go by the Lemon Twigs.
The lemon
They're
twist.
like I think they're based out in New York. Super cinematic, like glam pop.
Ooh,
I don't know you. This is my first time meeting you, but I know that you will like it if you like Boys Blood,
oh,
especially like on the production side of things.
I will 100% look it up because
Definitely.
I do everything to that album. Like have you ever run to that album? I'm
I
super
have not. I probably cried to that album first.
um,
But,
a huge like like hobby of mine is health and fitness. I work
sure,
out twice a
sure.
day, and I love doing that. But I love running, and I run to that album, and it's kind of like I feel like I'm like a princess running away from a ball or something like that. It's something just like, oh, it's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So
Amazing.
I
Well, yeah, I could talk about it for hours, but I'm going to shift the focus back to you and just say snaps on the great taste.
thank you.
Um, is there one specific thing that you enjoy the most about being an artist as a whole?
Ooh, wow. I think it's when I'm sorry, my cat. She's a her name is Kugel.
Oh my
She's
god.
like
Kugel? You're kidding
yeah.
me. That's one of my favorite meals.
Oh, amazing! It's one of my favorite meals growing up as well. So sorry, what
All
was
the
the
Hanukkah parties. Sorry.
are you Jewish as well?
I am, yes.
Oh, amazing. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Uh, the question was, what one single thing do you enjoy the most about being an
Oh,
artist?
amazing. I love the fusion of putting the sounds that I create in the studio to the sonics that I create visually from my like social medias. I'm really into that combining artwork and sonics together
Awesome.
to create one big theme. I love my Pinterest boards. I spend
Of course.
hours on Pinterest um, getting an aesthetic for one song and like creating a world for that one song, and then like being able to create the music video, creating the little promo videos, creating everything else, creating my outfits and the photo shoots. It's
Awesome.
kind of this like beautiful fusion between the physical world and like this world that we experience through our headphones, which is
Sure.
super exciting. So yeah, I would say that.
That's not surprising also because like the single artwork for this is beautifully done.
Thank you
Like
so much.
it's like very like aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it. That's awesome.
Is there something that you think that your music says about you as a whole? Like sort of a message that you're trying to come across with all of it?
I think I've been thinking about that. That's a really good question. I'm a hopeless romantic. I over romanticize everything, romance, hardships, happy moments in my life. You know, when I got my cat Kugel, I played movies by Wise Blood. You know what I mean? Like I'm very over dramatic, and I like it that way.
Yeah.
Because oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Love it. Love it. It's
So sorry.
authentic.
Um, um, I think that what it is just being romanticizing life and really creating that those moments where like you're walking in the rain with your headphones in. It's like I want my music to feel very cinematic, whereas like
Yes.
you can just put it on and have that main character moment that you've always wanted. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be, I mean, obviously not to like tell you what your life is, but I think that might be like part of like the classical music love too.
Oh,
How it
100%.
can be paired up to certain moments and certain emotions and moods and this and that. Like making music that isn't just like hyper pop crap is an art form. And yeah, making music for specific moods and like moments in life is a very special thing. And I can
Oh,
definitely see that like in the longevity of this.
thank
So
you so much. Thank
is
you.
there a possibility that you might get on the road or even play local shows to get these songs out in the
Yes.
world?
I have an incredible band. All of them are Berkeley students.
Nice.
I have a violinist. I have two guitarists, a drummer, a bassist, and a synth keyboardist, and they are absolutely incredible. And we're also all good friends too. I met them as friends first, and then they became my band.
That's
So
always good.
I feel very close to them, and I feel like we can make such intimate music together. And so, yeah, I just recently headlined a show in Alston, which is this little town
Very
outside of
cool.
Boston. And I'm hopefully going to be going on tour. I've been trying to set it up, trying to get those gigs out. So, yeah, super excited.
It'll happen. Even everyone's fighting for any venue spots at this point, so it's
100%.
it'll happen. Take your time, and honestly, like focus on the rollout right now.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely. But oh, performing live, I performed last week. Oh, it's so addictive.
that's
It's,
awesome.
it feels so good.
I've yet to get to my first post pandemic show, and I'm just like counting the days down. So
Any upcoming concerts that you're looking forward to?
yeah, I don't have anything until like the beginning of October. And once October hits, the rest of the year is pretty packed. But I think my first one back is Japanese Breakfast. Don't know if you've heard her or listened to her.
Yes, she's
Amazing.
amazing. That's gonna be an incredible concert.
Very excited. I've seen her. I saw her like a couple of years ago. It was great. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, I'll go to like a dive bar if I need to see someone. Like,
Right?
but I want it to be big. I want it to be like, like a big return. Like, it'll happen. It'll
Yeah,
happen.
this is
Uh,
music again. Yeah,
totally.
exactly.
So, okay, so hypothetically speaking, let's say the venue owner is like, okay, Kayla, we're super happy to have you, but unfortunately, we only have enough time for you to play one song. Which of your songs that are either previously released or soon to be released are you choosing?
Oh, that is such. Oh,
To really
I could
wow the
talk.
crowd, really bring them in.
I think I would do "Home," which is the first song of my EP. It's so powerful. It's so emotional. I've always been. It's the song that I've always wanted to create, and then I created it, which was insane for me.
That's awesome.
Lyrically, sonically, it's about lyrically. It's about someone leaving and then coming home, and the like that hug where like
That's
you rush towards them and you're like you left me and it was really scared, but like I you're home again, you know what I mean?
sure.
Like, thank
Yeah.
god you key. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Okay.
so that's one of my favorite songs, and yeah, I think that would be it. Yeah.
Okay. Not that it would matter because they'd all be great. Whatever.
I hope.
Okay, so we are recording this on July 1st, which is crazy. We're in July, which means we're at the halfway point of 2021. So, aside from the music, what are some personal goals that you've set for yourself for the rest of this year?
Wow. Um, Kind of similar. Like I'm really into health and fitness, and I'm on this really tight regime and eating plan for myself because I just really want to be in top physical form, not only for
Yeah.
myself but also for like going on the road and being able to
Oh,
have that
yeah.
stamina and be able to jump around and get all sweaty and
Get screwed
excited
up
about
pretty easy on the road.
exactly. And so that's a kind of goal for mine. Let me think. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to listen to more music. Always trying to listen to more music. I'm trying to get really into soul and funk, and really, because I really want to be inspired by it, but I feel that I need to learn about it more before I can produce more of that
Sure.
genre myself. Because I would never
Totally
be that.
reasonable.
So yeah, so that's kind of
Yeah,
my goal is just keep on listening to music, keep on
there
enjoying
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, because we're a music blog and we're always trying to promote whatever is good in life, what have you been listening to, I guess, the past 6 months? Are there any artists that you could recommend, even friends, because we
Oh,
want to focus on anybody?
definitely. Let me actually look at my Spotify.
Ooh,
Lucy Dacus is one of my favorite artists at the
yes.
moment.
I have her new album saved. I have not gotten around to it, but it's there. It's in the queue.
Oh, it's so good. My another person that Haley Hendricks. Are you a fan of her? I need to start a garden.
She's good. She's good.
That was one of the songs that like I listened to it and I started crying. I was like
That's awesome.
I was
Some moving stuff.
crazy. Another I'm really into Kelsey Liu. She's an
I
incredible
don't know who
and
that is.
upcoming um, Kelseylu.
Okay.
Her music is incredible. Really cool art pop. I'm trying to think. What else? What else? I recently got really into Stevie Wonder. I actually at a in my at Berkeley, I had to do a project on him, and so I was like, if I'm gonna do this project, I'm gonna do it right. So I listened to his entire discography, which took a while because I
That's a
started from
lot. That's a lot of work.
it started
Wow.
from like little Stevie, right before he was even Stevie Wonder,
Sure, sure.
all the way to like right now, and so that was a lot. But
Good for you.
it was so worth it. It
That's
was
that's a that's a serious undertaking right there. Wow.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so I have one more question for you.
Awesome.
It's something that I like to sort of close it up with.
Yeah.
But for the person that is going to discover you from this, and for the person that is going to dive into your music for the first time, is there a message that you would like to pass off to the first time listener as they enter your world?
Um, that's such a good. I think what I would tell them is when you listen to my music, close your eyes. Um, just close your eyes and imagine the world that you want to that's created through my music, and then open your eyes and then enjoy life. Also, go outside, put on your headphones, and take a walk when it's nighttime or when it's raining. It feels really good.
I love it. You've convinced me. I'm in. Now I need to re-listen with my eyes closed.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Kayla, I cannot thank you enough for coming on today and for giving these amazing answers.
Oh, so much for having.
Seriously, such an honor to have you on.
Wow.
For everyone else out there, Breaking and Entering is now out, so listen to it. But also, like, follow her and stay tuned for everything that's to come because I have a feeling big things are on the way.
Thank you so much. It was so nice meeting you, and thank you everyone for watching.
So nice meeting you too. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and we will speak soon.
All right, speak to you soon.
Awesome. Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much.
You're
Bye.
welcome. See ya.